Salute to Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing as the New York Knicks pull it out. 128, 115 at the field house. Bounce back Bullies in this one. The Knicks now move 15-3 after a loss. And let's talk about it. What a performance that we saw tonight from Cat, who put up 40, 12, and 5. And Josh Hart, also heroic, as he'll get the game ball together with Karl Anthony Towns. These guys showed up tonight, came to play, despite the foul trouble of Jalen Brunson. The New York Knicks were just too much, right? Defense, I think, was key. Indiana couldn't get into a rhythm, and I think that was the most important thing. Brunson, 5 fouls most of the game, played late, but the Knicks had enough to close it out. Salute to the chat. Buzzer beater, Daryl, Chris. How you guys feeling? Daryl says Towns and Hart showed Hart. Great game. I think, look, in this one, obviously it was a little bit ugly, a little gritty early. The Knicks had to establish dominance in that third quarter. But Hart, man, all over the rebounds. And let's go through the numbers as Josh Hart puts in another game ball performance. I mean, where would this team be without Hart, right? 30 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists from the Lionheart. And 12 of 16. Phenomenal, right? Plus 15 in the box score as well. Precious, I thought, was really solid as the Knicks got good contribution from their bench. Landry Shamet got some real meaningful minutes in this one. Cameron Payne, steady. I like this version of Cam Payne tonight. He went 4 of 8 as well. He was plus, dishing, getting his teammates involved, running the break as well. Shemu says, good win. We won the season series now against the Pacemakers. Yep. Salute to you. Mugiwara boy as well. Salute to the chat. Smash that like button. David Haas is in the building as well. Great to see you guys. I'm on the road tonight, so this might be a rapid fire post game, but let's soak it in as the New York Knicks now move, like I said, 15-3 coming off of a loss, right? That is significant because obviously in a postseason, you're going to, ideally need to bounce back after, one loss, and you need to, show that grit. This is a back-to-back. So obviously the New York Knicks will now get an opportunity to head back home, face Indiana tomorrow night, and the minutes allocation was solid, right? I thought he did play Cat a little too much late, but look, that's my nitpick for tonight. Huck Pority had 2 turnovers in quick succession, but Tibbs just didn't, want to bring him back in. The Knicks got control of the ball game after Cat just went on a tear, in that third quarter, and I didn't really need Huck Pority because Tibbs opted to go small, and I think it was the right decision in the end, to go small. The Knicks got that floor spacing. And that was enough, to go on with it. As I pull up the stats, no Miles Turner tonight. So I think that was obviously a key, omission, and obviously Indiana with, Miles Turner is going to be a lot more tough for Cat to have to come out on the perimeter. But, yeah, Cat's, defense was still lacking in this one at times. Foul trouble as well. He needs to know how to stay out of those situations, and just be disciplined. He's got to be more disciplined. That's my constructive criticism from Cat tonight. But, offensively, he was just all NBA levels in this one. Rebounding, grit, toughness, 37 dimes as well. I see you. 3 blocks, 14 turnovers, but did force a lot of turnovers from Indiana, who just couldn't get in any rhythm. TJ McConnell wasn't a factor at all. tonight in this one. How did you guys see TJ McConnell's limited impact as I dial up the grades from the bench tonight? Real solid production. We didn't even need, DeLon Wright to come in this one. Payne gets the B+, and I'll give Deuce McBride the A. And Shamit gets the C+. Huck Porty with a C. Limited opportunities, but look, he's a rookie, and I think he's obviously going to have ups and downs, and you're going to have to get used to that. But I'm glad that he's getting those opportunities early. But Tibbs just has to figure out those lineups with Huck Porty in there, with better floor spacing, because I like Huck Porty's ability to roll to the basket. However, with lineups with Hart and with Precious Achua, that's just not going to work. And Tibbs corrected that. So he'll get the B for me. We've got Michael Drake. Great to see you. E. Gonzalez, Travel Vibes in the house. Back to 17 games above 500 with another gritty performance and a bounce back. Obviously, the 2 days rest was a big help in this one. Chris says, Brunson in foul trouble could be a blessing since he got some more rest tonight for tomorrow's ball game. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Definitely. JB, hard on him tonight. He gets to see. However, it was up to the coach to trust, the other guys. He trusted Deuce. He trusted Payne at the right times. And obviously Cat kept the offense rolling together with Lionheart as well. Not a great night from Bridges either. And I guess that's, you could look at that as a positive as well in terms of the Knicks were able to sustain a hot offense, against a dynamic team in the Pacers, putting up 128 with limited production from Mikal, right? Mikal Bridges, 3 of 7, 6 points, really quiet night. But to his credit, gave us 5 assists and 5 rebounds as well with just 2 fouls. So I did like Mikal Bridges' defense tonight, but limited opportunities, limited production offensively. Brunson 4 of 11, still gave us 7 dimes, but the foul trouble. I think there was an element of physicality in this one where the Knicks did thrive, and the Pacers just didn't come to play. In the grand scheme of things, E. Gonzalez, I think, you take the win, and we definitely matched their physicality and out-muscled them. So that was big. Johnny, great to see you. Good win against the enemy. Pacers, hostile environment. You heard the crowd was going crazy out there, but Hart, how many tip-backs and putbacks did he get? That was big time. AJ Live, Mikal Bridges, he's had his ups and downs this season. Ultimately, I'm going to be judging in the postseason, but, we do need more out of him. I'm not pulling the pin on it, and nor should we, but Bridges has to show more offensively. Defensively, he was better tonight. There were some key stretches where we needed more guys to step up, right? How about this moment, in the third? That basically, I think, shifted momentum as James Edwards of the Athletics says Hart has done everything in this third quarter. Pacers might be up if not for him. And instead, the New York Knicks lead by 7 at that point in time. I can't say enough about Hart. At that moment, it was just a huge stretch. We've got some huge news as well as Mitchie is taking interviews now, spoke on, what it's been like being out, his imminent return as well. He says anyone sleeping on him says that's their business. Let them sleep. I'll wake them up. What a boost that is going to be to get the dynamic 7-footer back to control the paint. I wouldn't want to be Atlanta tomorrow night, Johnny. As Johnny says, tomorrow will be Brunson Bridges' show. I do think that, whenever he has a down night, his bounce back is normally huge. Yeah, there was some really poor officiating tonight, I do have to say, though. That moment where Landry, took that blow to the back of the head, and then they tried to say that it was marginal contact. I mean, that was just ridiculous. You guys probably know that play. It was reviewed as well, which is insane. But yeah, comfortable victory in terms of controlling the momentum late. I mean, Pacers couldn't even make a run. 68-60 at the half. Appreciate your buzzer beater. Always coming on. Love to chop the big win up. Sandman. Finally, we saw Tibbs bench Achua. A bit tough on Achua tonight, Sandman. I think the lineups are the biggest keys. Obviously, the non-spacing lineups, I think. But yeah, I mean, without OG, to find offense from Payne, Deuce, welcome return. And obviously, Shamit giving us a little bit tonight did help. But we're going to need OG and his floor spacing to beat these better teams. Now, as significant as this win was, because Indiana have been rolling recently, and we basically made them look like a play-in team. Halliburton shut down. Siakam was loose early, but we managed to turn their water off as well. And the most pleasing thing was, TJ McConnell, the Nick killer, wasn't even able to have a massive impact in this one. I do like Benedict Mathurin. I think that's a player for the future for them. He can get loose. He can get real hot in a hurry. So yeah, credit to our perimeter defense. But yeah, after the Boston game, I mean, OG Anunoby, I was thinking about how important that, he's going to be, when we face, those other opponents, right? I gave Precious Achiuwa a B+. I did like his ability to control the paint. There was some shaky moments, but we look at the numbers from Precious, fam. So he chipped in with 2 assists, 12 rebounds, 5 offensive, and which controlled the glass. He did have a block, 1 turnover, no steals, inefficient from the field. But yeah, I like his activity on the glass, fam. And given that Cat was in foul trouble and Tibbs didn't go to Hakpority, so I'm going to give Precious the B+. Now, we see it differently on this one. You didn't like Precious's game, but yeah, 5 offensive rebounds is huge, man. That was the team high offensive rebounds, fam. Look, yeah, Precious is a guy that comes off our bench. He's a depth piece, $6 million. You're going to get inconsistencies out of him. He's definitely not a starter for me, but he is a guy that, we're going to need. We're not that deep off our bench. Buzzer says, I hope Brunson would get more calls now that he's an all-star star. I think it just comes down to the new age NBA, Buzzer. The physicality that they're allowing. And I know rivals, fans are going to say that he flops, but he has to sell the calls. Otherwise, he's just not going to get any call at all. Right. He does embellish it a little bit at times, and he has to. Otherwise, they're just going to decapitate the man. So yeah, we ride the bumps with Campaign, ups and downs, but he gets the B+ in this one as well. I really like the non-Brunson minutes. Brunson, ill-discipline, 5 fouls in the third quarter. We haven't really seen that for a long, long time, but he had to sit, and Campaign, stepped in and gave us solid minutes. But I really like what I saw from Deuce McBride tonight, so let's shout him out. Right, 4 of 7, Miles McBride, 4 of 4 from downtown, was active, 15 buckets off the bench, and a team high plus 25. for Miles McBride. Perfect in his role, right? So I might even adjust the grade for Deuce McBride tonight because, yeah, considering Brunson sat and considering we needed that production, coming off a down night against Boston, Deuce McBride will get the A+ in this one, right? The shot is well and truly back now, 4 of 4 from downtown, spacing that floor out. We've all been crying out about the non-spacing lineups, and, Deuce is so central to the remedy of that, getting him out there in the small ball lineups just to get better spacing. And we saw tonight with Hart rebounding, it don't matter if Hart plays the 4 because he rebounds better than most power forwards, right? I'd rather go that way, push Hart back to the 4, take Precious off, or push Precious to the 5, Huck Porty at the 5. But you can't have Precious, Huck, and Hart out there together. That's just, you're going to get killed against some better lineups. What's up, Freeway Hustler? Says worst game of Cap's career. He's had some bad performances, even in the playoffs for Dallas. But yeah, this is certainly one of them. But I mean, how many times has he saved our bacon? Right, so Cap will still get a pass for me because he distributed 7 assists. But yeah, I wouldn't want to be the Hawks tomorrow night, because he's gonna bring the fire in that one. And I'll give Tibbs a B because he adjusted, but he doesn't get an A because he should have emptied the bench a lot earlier. What the heck was Cat doing out there? And what the heck was, some of the main rotation players being out there? With 3, 4, 5 minutes remaining, the game was done. It's a back-to-back as well. So continue to be frustrated with Tibbs in that way because, guys need rhythm and they need minutes as well. Kolek should have been out there earlier. Let Shamet, Payne, Kolek finish it out, Huck Porty. And by the way, it doesn't look like Jake Toppin was with the team. He's been balling out for Westchester. If you don't know, Pacome Dardier is out with a toe injury. So speedy recovery, prayers up for Pacome Dardier. We need to see him out there, whether it's with Westchester or with us. We need to see him and get some minutes. 6'8", he can defend better. But obviously, for those that don't know as well, Kevin McCullough made his second game performance with Westchester, but then picked up a calf injury. And so he's out right now, unable to perform for the G League squad. So Kevin McCullough continues to, deal with injuries, which is unfortunate, right? And one of the reasons why he slipped in the draft. Ariel Huck-Porty, once again, I didn't feel like Tibbs gave him a fair shake, obviously, but he decided to go small and give better floor spacing out there as well. But Huck-Porty did get some extra garbage time minutes late. Obviously, he's the guy now, and, I don't feel confident that Cat is going to stay out of foul trouble. And Precious is up and down. So Huck-Porty is going to see regular minutes. I think they are going to be a little sporadic, but Huck-Porty will see minutes on the regular because obviously no Jericho Sims right now. And this is where we go. We move from here. James Baker's in the house. Much needed bounce back, James. Definitely. I think you don't want to get back-to-back losses. And obviously the Pack is trying to chase the New York Knicks. This was a season series victory, like the chat said earlier. Buzzer wants to say that Brunson gets the B minus. A few of those fouls were bogus. Yeah. A few were garbage calls. Yeah. Definitely the refs were missing a lot tonight. That Landry Shamet hit to the back of the head. I don't know how they missed that. Michael Drake, great to see you as well. Yeah, McCullough, I've been watching the G League performances a lot just to see what these guys have got. And hopefully McCullough can get back soon. So it is a calf. His previous injuries have been knee related, so I don't think this is going to keep him out for too long, hopefully. But yeah, you just never know with those calf complaints. They can linger, right? So how do you guys feel about tomorrow night? Comfortable victory tonight. We've got to keep some guys' minutes down. Brunson should be fresh. Shamet, should be taking a lot of confidence from this one. Payne, we get another look at Dyson Daniels. We know that him and Jalen Brunson like to go head-to-head, and that gets chippy. But Hart tonight was the pleasing element where the bounce back of Josh Hart wasn't himself against Boston. And Josh Hart bounced back in a major way with a double-double, flirting with his 8th triple-double on the season. But we didn't need him to go completely crazy tonight with a triple-double because the game was under control. And I think the story also to come out of this one is Indiana. Miles Turner is so critical to them. Guys, without Miles Turner, I think we're a lot more comfortable. I think their spacing tonight wasn't great. They didn't really hurt us with the three. And you guys know, that is the biggest weakness of the New York Knicks, the three-point defense. So, if we can stop the other team from getting into a rhythm, and tonight, credit to our guys, they closed out on the perimeter strong. Thomas Bryant hit one, but he's not going to be a guy you want shooting the three if you're Indiana. We kept TJ McConnell out of the paint as well, so that was key as well. I like the small ball looks, and I think that's the way to move forward. If we do miss OG Anunoby for any game for the rest of this season, I do think we need to go smaller, take Precious out of the starting five, push Hart to the 4, get Deuce McBride in there, or Cameron Payne, whichever way you want to go. Let me know what you guys think, right? Let's say, OG misses tomorrow. Obviously, he was questionable tonight, but I wouldn't risk him for the final game. And so, Precious starting, and then, those lineups, not great for spacing. I like Huck Porty at the 5, him in the pick and roll. He did set really good screens tonight. So I think that, continues to be a base for Ariel Huck-Porty, trying to win more minutes for Tom Thibodeau. But he is situational right now. Obviously, he's going to see sporadic minutes without Jericho here. But if he can rebound better, I do think Ariel Huck-Porty has the capacity to rebound a lot better. He is focused on the box outs, which is the fundamentals that you want to see. But he is not I've noticed that he's not really paying attention to the flight of the ball. You can't take your eye off the basketball if you want to pull in those rebounds. So Ariel needs to step up that way. But I do like the screen setting that he's setting. He does have to be more careful with the basketball too. 2 careless turnovers. I think that sealed his fate tonight with Tibbs. But yeah, he's going to have ups and downs. But I'm glad he's getting those opportunities right now. He is a player for the future. And we do need to, live with it. Because, Ariel is a guy that's going to continue to see minutes. Tay says if Cat can poster like that, then I'm much less concerned about his finger. Yeah, he was aggressive tonight. But I still don't like the complaining, the foul calling and that. But the three-point ball, like you said, looks a lot better tonight now that I think the finger's bothering him a lot less. Michael Drake says, OG, bring him back after the All-Star break. Yep, 100% agree with you on that, Michael. I think OG just needs to set out one more and then he's good. 2 more weeks. It'll be a total of 2 weeks out and a nice rest for him. Neymar wants to give Brunson a B-. Mikal Bridges a C- in this one. And Sandman doesn't want Precious out there to start. No Precious, please. Yeah, those finger on the rims can be tricky, buzzer beater. I think Cat is shown a lot of fortitude this season, and credit to him, another game ball stepping up. The blueprint is, obviously what Boston have been trying to do, which is neutralize his ability on the perimeter. But Cat went down low tonight. He was just a bully in the paint, and we look at his plus minus. Cat was a plus 14, 40 points, 12 rebounds, exceptional from the free throw line, 37.5% from downtown, 14 of 23, 60% from the field as well. That's a huge bounce back, and we needed that after a down night against Boston. Neymar says, I would like OG back tomorrow, but I'm fine if it's all after All-Star break. Yeah, listen, no need to risk it. No need to risk it. So, yeah, Dermot Salute says, any buyout candidates? I think there will be a guy, that, might interest the New York Knicks, but they can't sign anyone, fam, until March 1st. So most likely either the best players are going to get snatched up or the Knicks will just ride it out and wait. March 1st, they'll bring up TJ Warren, or they'll see if there's any other injuries that play out throughout the rest of the month. They might look at, they might give DeLon Wright, a few minutes in practice and then cut him, if they don't like what he's giving, after March 1st. But the Knicks can't do anything financially until March hits, unfortunately, right? There's been some guys that I would love to bring up. Alex Len got snapped up. He could have snatched some precious minutes or Huck Porty minutes. But yeah, Alex Len was a much bigger need for the LA Lakers. He's headed out west. Who else have I liked on the buyout? I mean, even a guy like Lonnie Walker who's out, overseas right now. I think he'll be looking to return for a playoff, run with any team, right? He'd be an instant upgrade on the wing. So I think, looking ahead tomorrow night, let's talk about the matchup against Atlanta. Obviously, the New York Knicks have had a lot of success against Atlanta. The last game was a bounce back after the disappointment of the NBA Cup. Right, but Trae Young and the Hawks haven't been themselves. They've been struggling. They've had Jalen Johnson ruled out for the rest of the season, and I think that's obviously a huge boost for our chances. Reece Shea, he's going through the rookie ups and downs as well. So yeah, it's basically up to Trae Young and Okongwu. Clint Capella's still there. He wasn't traded. In terms of some of their moves, they pick up Karis LeVert, right, former Nick killer with the Brooklyn Nets, and of course with the Cleveland Cavaliers, he swaps places with DeAndre Hunter, and he's now with the Hawks. Karis LeVert will be coming off their bench, but I think Deuce McBride is going to have him locked down, and it's basically going to be guard Trae Young tomorrow night, and we win, right, back at the Mecca. And I think we've got enough defensively. Sit OG out. Like I said, Brunson should be really fresh. Salute, Mike. No, Kevin McCullough is with us, Buzzer. So, yeah, that's great for us. He was drafted by the New York Knicks, and he's a two-way player for us. So, yeah, we have his full rights. And he's a New York Knicks player on a two-way contract. So, yeah, no one can snap him up. Although he does play with Westchester, he's actually with the New York Knicks as well. So, yeah, I mean, guys, some of our bench are going to be up and down. Precious, I know you guys are talking about it in the chat with Sandman. Certain players are going to be divisive, polarizing, but look for this off-season for there to be, further building with this team in terms of strengthening with our weaknesses, right? But let's see Mitchell Robinson returning, right? As I bring up the story earlier today, I think it's significant, the news that we got with Mitch now. And it's only going to be a matter of time. As Steve Popper comes up with the great quote, Mitchell Robinson's message to the doubters, that's their business. Let them sleep. I'll wake them up. So Mitch has got a lot of, energy pent up. He's got a lot of chip on his shoulder, I think. And we don't need him to play, 10. We don't need him to play more than like 15 to 20 minutes, I don't feel, with Cat here. And so if Mitch can stay healthy, give us solid 15 minutes a night, right, anchor the paint, and obviously be there for those bigger lineups against Cleveland, Boston. I think drop coverage is obviously a lot better with Boston. You can push Cat at the 4 and try to tackle Boston with that extra size. I think that's going to be really key for me. So Mitchell Robinson, I think that he's right now for me the biggest X factor on this club, because we haven't seen him all season. We haven't seen any lineups with Karl Anthony Towns, with Mitchell Robinson. He's a huge upgrade over Precious. He's a huge upgrade over Ariel Hukporti. And obviously any other big from this squad, right? Mitchell Robinson, I think he's just got to get into rhythm. Obviously his timing, and hopefully he can stay out of foul trouble. But I think they should smartly ease him into, 10 to 15 minutes a night to begin with and see how he pulls up, right? Just so that he can stay in the lineup and stay healthy, I wouldn't expect Mitch to come out there and play 25 minutes straight away. He is going to be a guy that, he's going to settle in, I think, and get his timing back. In terms of the off-season, I think it'll depend on how the playoffs play out, Freeway. But I personally wouldn't make a move for Zion. I do think OG Anunoby has a lot more value for us because we've seen how bad our defense is, at times this season, fam. And I think, OG is really important. Now, I would move OG if it's for a superstar, like a Giannis. If it is a star like Ant-Man, like Luka became available, I would have moved OG. You could make the case that Zion is a star, but he's not been available enough. The potential is there, but yeah, I'm holding on to OG in that kind of move. Not because I don't think Zion's a big upgrade, but I'm keeping OG for the bigger deal down the line in case that, presents itself. Because look, I do think that Kevin Durant, there's been a lot of buzz coming up in this offseason that he's frustrated with Phoenix, putting him on the block. Giannis Antetokounmpo, I don't think he's going to stay in Milwaukee, and you're going to need your best trade chips for when a guy like a prime Giannis becomes available, fam. That's the kind of guy you go all in for. If you're wondering if Joel Embiid becomes available, it's a hell no for me, right? He can't stay healthy. And we obviously look at the Sixers and they're struggling big time. So it's a no for me if Embiid becomes available. But yeah, if it's Ant-Man, Greek Freak, the Joker, obviously KD, Giannis, absolutely, I'm going all in. DB, Devin Booker. I think it'd be phenomenal to trade OG for a Devin Booker deal. Then you can push Mikal Bridges to the 3. You could push, obviously, have Devin Booker in his rightful position at the 2. So yeah, this thing, I know a lot of fans are like, we need to win the championship right now, but we've seen how formidable Boston look. I'm staying patient right now because I do think there's more moves that can be made. Obviously, we are built, though, to go for it right now, to go all in and just see where we stack up. And we see how it plays out, fam. But yeah, look, if KD became available for the cheap, I think you have to think about it because the Knicks are right there. They're so close to a championship. And I'm not the biggest KD guy, man. I've been a huge critique of him. But, I'm 41 years old now, fam. I've been following the Knicks for my whole life, and I haven't seen a championship yet. So I'm not about to get choosy. If there's a guy right there, we're on the cusp, that I think can push us over the top, best believe I'm going all in. I'm going all in, fam, right? By the time I see a championship, I might be in my 50s if we don't seize this opportunity right now. We must go for it, right? Now, I'm not trading the farm for Kevin Durant, but if he can be had for OG, Deuce McBride and some picks, then I'm definitely doing it because I think that would make us the favourite. That would definitely make us the favourite to win the championship, right? Brunson, Kevin Durant, Bridges and Cat and Josh Hart. I mean, that's a serious look. That's a serious look out there. Buzzer says DeLon Wright equals Mo Harkless. Mo Harkless 6'8", fam, so he's got a bit more size. But DeLon Wright 6'5". I think he's a guy that, we might need at some point this season, on the perimeter. But right now he's out of the lineup. Tibbs is going to give the current guys, the first dibs. Lewis says all hail Cat. Phenomenal performance, man. He completely dominated and bullied Indiana in this one. Michael says we must stay patient for that championship. Listen, man, I hear what you're saying, and I think there's a lot of wisdom in that, not making a short-sighted move. However, you have to believe if there's a move out there that can push you over the top, I think the Knicks have to go for it, because how long do you wait, fam? The next team's going to come up. In a few years' time, it's going to be the Rockets, probably dominating the West. Oklahoma's going to be around for a long time. I could see Boston falling off because financially they are going to have to make some cuts, with the new ownership. I think they're going to have to part ways with a guy like a Brown, for salary purposes, or a Drew Holiday. He's going to get older. And I think that's an opportunity. We have to seize that. But coming up in the East, there's going to be, Detroit, they're improving. Teams like Indiana, Milwaukee can make improvements as well. Salute AP, he says, I'm 47, I haven't seen one either. That's it, man. There's OGs, there's young fans. I think there's no better time than to just go for it, because the East is just, the West and the East is going to continue to stay tough, and we're so close. One piece can put us over that top. Buzzer says, CT, can you see Randall or Dante coming back to the Knicks next season? Randall, definitely no. That boat has sailed, but I can see Dante coming back. Definitely. I could see Dante coming back in a deal. Maybe not next season, but some point in the future. And I would love that. Definitely. AP says, would KD even want to come to play for Tibbs? Look, his options are going to start running out. If he wants to leave for Phoenix, because he's ticked off. There's not that many opportunities, to go all in and win a chip. I'm not necessarily saying KD would want to come, but I'm saying if there's a chance to get him, you explore that, without giving up too much, of course. Yeah, I understand completely. If you guys don't want KD, I'm gonna be honest. Probably 6 months ago, I was the same. I was like, man, I hate KD. To hell with him and all of that. But after seeing this trade deadline, a part of me is just like, if we don't win one now in the next 5 years, when are we going to win one? I don't want to go through another reset, another rebuild, if we can't win a chip with this core. With Brunson, with Cat, and everyone else along for the ride, right? If the Knicks don't seize this opportunity right now, it could be another 10 years after that, rebuilding through the draft and all that. I don't want to go through that, right? A chip is a chip, To me, that's just how I feel right now, If there's a guy out there that can put you over the top, I'm going for it, fam. Personalities aside, I do feel like KD is obviously... he's got his issues off the court as well. But, yeah, I'm trying to win right now. By the way, I don't think Tom Thibodeau will be the coach when the Knicks do win their next championship. But for right now, let's see what happens, what shakes out in the postseason. Right, it's going to be box office, and the East is so even right now, man. So obviously to wrap things up, right, to beat Boston, I do think the Knicks need... to get Mitchell Robinson back. have OG Anunoby, of course. I do think if Cat is the main five, Boston's just going to continue to pick us apart. Pick and roll defense. They're going to pull Cat into the action like we saw again and again and again. And they're just too good the way they're constructed right now. Now, next season could be a different story. I'm just talking about this season. That's it. The Knicks could bounce back next season. They could add more better pieces, and they could knock off Boston next season. But for this season, we definitely need Mitchell Robinson, and we definitely need, Cat pushed back to the fore. Cat in drop coverage against Boston, they're going to annihilate us. But obviously OG Anunoby as well. Bridges can't shut down Brown and Tatum by himself. And Precious Achiuwa is, we saw what they did to Precious, man. They completely had him on skates. They were breaking his ankles out there. So it's a bad matchup having Precious at the fore against Boston. Anyone else against the East, and I'm not worried. I'm not sweating Cleveland. I'm definitely not sweating Indiana now after tonight. I'm not sweating Orlando. They've fallen off. I'm not sweating Milwaukee. We've won the season series already. I'm not sweating, in ATL. Hopefully we beat them again tomorrow. Who else am I missing out east? And Miami's fallen off. No Jimmy. The East is so open right now, guys. Boston's the main threat. That's it. Right, that's it for me. I'm not worried about Cleveland at all, fam. I know Cleveland got DeAndre Hunter. They made some nice moves, and we're definitely going to have to see them in the second or third round, because I do think Cleveland are the other main threat, giving them their respect. But I do think that the New York Knicks are well built, I think, to knock off Cleveland, fam. I think they're a much, much better matchup. They're smaller. They've got, Donovan Mitchell and obviously Darius Garland, smaller guys. They're not great defenders. I think we can go toe-to-toe with our bigs. Mitchell Robinson getting ready to return. Karl Anthony Towns can pull their bigs out of the paint as well, guys. So, hey, first of a back-to-back. Let's get our rest. I'll see you all tomorrow night. This has been a rapid-fire post-game on the road. Salute to Knicks Nation and the chat, and shout out to Replay Squad. Thank you for tuning in tonight and rocking out with us. Impressive win, the Knicks battled through adversity, foul trouble, but Karl Anthony Towns and Josh Hart were the Lions in this one. They were the Dawgs, and we prevailed. And we'll see you all tomorrow night, everyone, as the Knicks now go back to a season high 17 games above 500, 15-3 after a loss. The bounce back Bullies continue. Peace.